Hi, welcome to the Durian Heat, where we discuss critical issues from Southeast Asia. My name is Grace Cho, and today we are going to talk about social innovation. Define social innovation, and how would you imagine this? It refers to the creation, development, adoption, and integration of new concepts and practices that put people and the planet first. Social innovations revolve existing social, cultural, economic, and environmental challenges. Some social innovations are systems changing. They permanently alter the perceptions, behaviors, and structures that previously gave rise to these challenges. Even more simply, all social innovation is an idea that works for the public good. So today, we're going to speak with Tim Fernandez, who is the founder of Live and Inspire, to talk more about social innovation at the Durian Heat.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
The company is about 8 years old. We started off in with 2 people, and it's grown ever since. How it started off is it's a pretty interesting story because it was actually me who got fired from a previous company. Long story short, basically kind of felt threatened on what I did.
Right.
and he fired me for some reason. And I just took on upon myself to decide to build a company ever since. And the previous company that I was fired from was a training and development company.
She's an irony, right?
Yeah, it was an irony. And I think the protest I had in that is that we run trainings, we run leadership trainings, but we're not really an embodiment of what we run. And I kind of saw a gap in that. And I wanted to build a company where you are the same person at work, and you're the same person running the training. That's hence the company Live Inspire.
Is this something that you've always wanted to establish a company you can create the culture, or is it something that you realized throughout your experiences in the companies before?
I realized over the years. I think I work when I started working. I worked in a bank. It's the same thing. I went on to another training company, and I think. And it's not so much something that people said that, I want to make sure that you're a different person at work. And I think it's just the culture.
Right.
And I think it's about being aware that there is a culture and we can break that culture.
The current corporate culture in Malaysia, in most of the companies, maybe not all, there's all these companies, right? Do they establish a certain kind of character or structure where you have to be this type of person regardless, who you are outside?
Yeah, I think it's logical to establish that because you want to get work done, and you need some form of structure to guide the conduct of how you get work done. But I think in the process of doing that, you should help integrate the person, not disintegrate the person. Many a times, if someone wants to work in a sales-driven company, but I'm not sales-driven, I'm not really moved by targets, then it's a different fit. But I can come into the company and learn that and somehow develop that, and that can be nurturing for me in a bigger picture. And it can be nurturing for the company as well. So I think there's no right and wrong to this.
Right.
It's just that how do I work with people who want to be more integrated in how they live.
Right. And also make maybe the working environment less hostile in a way.
It is very interesting because, even in my experience, right, I see a lot of my colleagues and friends who tell me that, I'm totally different person when it comes to work, and then when I'm with you, I'm different person. So then I did ask that person, then who are you really?
Because a human being is very multifaceted. You're very multi-dimensional. So you let certain people see certain parts of you at certain time.
True.
But sometimes that certain point of view still can relate to you. If I see Grace here, I somehow know that's Grace. It's not something that's projected onto me. That's what I can't stand. And I wanted to build a company where the culture will nurture that part of a person, you know. Not so much that you need to expose yourself, but so much that I'm actually meeting Grace, for example, you know.
So it's
but
the
I'm
grace
meeting-
that you know.
Yeah, it's the grace that I know. It's the grace that it's the grace. It's not something you picked up from the movies.
Right. Okay.
And you're projecting it on me. It's something that it's not a projection.
Mm.
You know, it can be something that you don't apply at work, but it's still grace.
Social innovation company that you have, Live and Inspire, is beyond just about trying to live an authentic life individually. It's also about trying to create something that is, either a product or a service or even a lifestyle that is authentic.
Yeah.
So why you have that goal in mind?
Because I lived the split life before. I found myself being a different person at work. I found myself being a different person at home. I found myself being different in an intimate relationship. So, and I couldn't stand it. And I said it's not a way. It's not a way to live. I did a lot of research and found that the more authentic you are, the more unison you are, however you perceive it, the less likely you will have the personality disorder, the split personality disorder. But I wanted to live the authentic life because I think that's your form of integrity. That's how you build your integrity, and things get really well. But honesty has a certain value to that word.
Yep.
Just being you has some essence to it. That's why I came up with a company called Live and Inspire, but not live and motivate, or I'm going to motivate myself. Sometimes
Right.
motivation is not even real. You know, it stems from a word called motive in action. That's how motivation is formed. So, and it's always external. And I think if you don't live an authentic life, the possibility of influence over you is so much higher. It's so much higher. You're easily swayed. You're easily influenced to do something that really goes against you. That's why if you look at the word live and inspire, the effort happens in live. The work happens in live. Inspire is just an effect of how you live. So whether you do it with a brand, whether you do it with your people development, whether you do it with yourself, regardless of any segment of life, if you just live, that inspiration bit will happen. And the word inspire comes from the Latin word inspirare, which means to be in spirit. So if you're living, you are definitely in spirit. So
I can also feel that, Tim, you went to a lot of struggles within yourself.
Yeah. But it's really interesting that you are making a comparison between inspired or living authentically with typical motivational talk or events or trainings that we always go. Even in today's world, right, there's an influx of companies setting up just to either giving people motivational talks or leadership training
Yep.
Yep.
or all this, making ourselves more motivated in life, I guess.
Like
or,
team building as well.
or more
Yeah.
productive in the workplace. Do you think this is set to fail, or is actually counterproductive to even attend to all this?
I don't think it's set to fail, because sometimes if the training comes in at the right time and you're ready for it, it could initiate something. It could invoke something.
Right.
So I don't think it will fail. I think it's when you're receiving or when you encounter that training, you want to be able to be ready for that. So the embodiment happens almost instantaneously.
Right.
If I'm not ready for something and then I'm suddenly taking this in, it almost seems a violation to myself, because I'm not really ready to go and, hey,
So you
let's
ended
make
up
this
forcing
happen,
yourself.
you know. Yeah. So I think the old saying is, when you're ready, the teacher appears. I really believe in that. So training works to some point, but I think it works when someone is really ready for it.
Right.
And I think,
And live with that.
yeah, that's the biggest challenge for most corporates, because I send 30 people for training on leadership.
And they get inspired maybe
Yeah.
for that day itself.
Like for a few days only,
just-
right?
Yeah, it's really a temporary
Yeah, exactly.
a temporary fix, you know. So that's why I think more than training, if you build a culture of awareness, you build a culture that gets people to work in intense state, where awareness is birthed, then I think it becomes more value added to the individual,
Right.
and then equipping the person with the skill or to manage people or whatever the skill you want to them to learn.
That's the end of the first segment at the Durian Heat. Stay tuned with us.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.